Welcome to our episode of Barman Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at The Three Musketeers by Burbank Films Australia from 1986. And this is a reprint, part of the Storybooks Classic collection by Genius Entertainment. I guess they bought the rights to redistribute it, but they don't decide to put Burbank's logo on anything, on the back. At least not obviously, which is kind of disappointing, because you think it'd be on there somewhere. Albeit the box does advertise that it comes with Spanish audio down here. On this side, yeah. Jeez. As far as the film itself goes, this one's pretty passable in my opinion. It's just bad on a lot of fronts. I do appreciate the fact they tried to keep as much political intrigue as they could, considering this film's about 50 minutes long. So you do have some of those political backhand plays going for it. You're like, oh, my liege, you should ask your wife to go to the party while wearing her diamond studs that she gave to the Duke of Buckingham. We'll make the king kill his wife, or start a war. Either way, I win, for I will gain more personal power somehow. They don't really elaborate what exactly his end goal really is, besides, getting rid of the queen, which may be his only goal, really, because apparently the cardinal and the queen really hate each other, so that's probably enough reason to play some political games there. So yeah, we do have at least a little political intrigue going on for us. But when it comes to the fight scenes, well, they're bad. They're really, really bad. Like, they're really bad because they have a really small budget for them, so they can't really animate them very well. Or at all, practically. So they're usually very stiff, and they'll try to cut out as much as possible, so they usually have a lot of the action happening off-screen. Like, oh, there's a fight breaking out in the bar, but we'll focus on the characters that aren't fighting, then having them banter a little bit with the characters that are fighting off-screen, so we just have to have some sound effects in there, of clashing blades. So we don't actually have to show the swashbuckling going on, just, make sure people know what's happening. They're like, you guys, get out of this scene, I'll stay here and fight by myself. Just don't show me fighting. So yeah, stuff like that. Or you'll have sword fights where they'll focus on the hilts, where they meet each other, basically, because they'll clash so low on the blades. They're like, let's make this have as little movement as possible. We don't want to do any complex motions. So yeah. They'll also, at one point, they have a guy stab, another character with a knife. And they don't show him actually stabbing him with the knife. They show him, swinging the knife in air in preparation to stab him with it. They get up in his backhand or whatever. So then, swing it forward into the guy's gut or whatever. And they're like, oh, let's just zoom in on the guy's face that gets stabbed. We don't want to, show the stabbing happening in real time, Maybe because it's too violent, which I seriously doubt it is, because even when people get stabbed in this movie with swords, they don't bleed, at all. Or get hit with a gunshot. Well, shot by a gun, obviously, not hit by gunshot. Jeez. It's like, oh, I got shot! Can't show any blood, though! That require more animation than we can afford! So, yeah, no blood stains, no nothing. I just have to act like I'm hurt. That's good enough. So yeah, the low budget's just painfully apparent when it comes to the action scenes. Throw in the cheap backdrops. I mean, it's not they're not vibrant enough to maybe catch my interest, but they just feel really, really flat. You look at them man, that's just a background painting. It's so painfully obvious it's a background painting. It doesn't feel very three-dimensional at all. So it just feels painful to look at. And then you add in the fact that some of the characters have, chicken legs going for them, and you're like, gosh darn it. These guys not study proportion. And then you throw in the voice acting problems. There's this one character. I'm not sure what he was going for, but you hear him, you're like, gosh darn it, that voice is so bad, it's almost hilarious.
Milady? So, you have returned to England.
Who are you?
John Felton, milady, an author of the King's Regiment.
And then there's times when characters, are dying and they're so enthused about it. You think they're being sarcastic or something. There's some sort of sick joke going on there. They're like, yeah, I'm ruined. My whole life is just utterly destroyed, and I could not give a shit. Yeah. And then there's one sequence in the movie that I just don't know why it exists. There's this ballet scene, and it adds nothing to the film. None of the characters are talking while it's going on, so you don't get any, character relevations, nor does it move the story forward in any meaningful way. So it does absolutely nothing. My only guess is that someone liked the ballet. There was a ballet scene or something in the book, and someone liked it enough to let's put it in there. We can make it artistic, or at least stylistic in a very low budget way. So we don't have to do actual characters. We'll do outlines of characters, so we can get away with some maybe interesting visual ideas from it. But like I said, it's an entirely pointless scene that only exists to pad out the movie a little bit. So you could just skip through it, and you're I'd not really lose anything. And I think that basically covers it. There might be other things I could nitpick about the film, but it's just cheese. I mean, I guess I could nitpick the fact that, Milady de Winter, looks a bit like a cheap knockoff version of Cruella de Vil. Or how does no one notice that she's evil? I mean, she goes around constantly breathing fire. She walks in the room, she's like, oh, there's candles? I gotta light those. I got fire breath. She's literally got dragon's breath going for her. There's one scene where her husband just puts his hand out and he's just bam, I'll stop her fire with my hand. Is your glove fireproof? Huh. Didn't know that. I wonder when he tested that. Or was he just hoping it was fireproof and he got lucky? Oh well, till next time then. See ya.
Heaven help me. I am done for.